The Australian Ghost Whisperer with Caterina and James Jennings. Hello, Caterina. How are you
Hello,
doing today?
James. Nice to connect with you again.
Yeah, sure is. It sure is. How's your week been? Have you been busy doing readings for people?
Yes, I have. Yes, there's been a big demand on readings the last few weeks. I think people are a little worried about the new year and wanting to make a great deal of changes in their lives and just finding that they're just needing reassurance and guidance. And yeah, people are looking to make career changes and making relationship changes. I've been working with a lot of women who kind of feel like they're really stuck in stagnant relationships and just helping them with some options and tools to help them make decisions.
Okay, all right. Bit of relationship advice.
Yes, yes.
I imagine
And yeah,
I imagine that's one of the main things you get asked about.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people struggle with relationships. I think still people are, and that comes with, again, people are not perhaps working through their own personal issues. So once they get into a relationship, they become quite um kind of stuck and drawn into those issues come to the surface, and so then they don't know how to deal with them, and
Yeah,
so they tend to kind of point a finger at each other rather than looking at within themselves and seeing how and why these issues are coming up and how they could resolve it within themselves first
yeah,
rather than pointing the finger.
yep, yep.
Mm,
That's something we've talked about a lot on this show as well, isn't it? Like,
that's right.
yeah, yeah. Very,
Correct.
very interesting. Well, my week's been a little interesting as well. Without, going into the gory details, you know about it, but our listeners probably don't. But like sometimes I deal with, well, pretty often I deal with supernatural weirdness in my life, and I've been getting some nighttime visits from God knows what. Things that don't seem to be human, but which is pretty terrifying. But what can I say? This is what happens when you tuned into that stuff. Is it's not always it's not always the stuff you want, is it, Kat? It's not always like, oh, I'm seeing like, it's all happy stuff. Like sometimes you get the weird, scary stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, when your vibration's a bit low and you're overworking and you're quite tired, which I think's been the case with you,
Hmm.
because you are so sensitive, these things tend to then appear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a reminder that you need that self-care, that you need to perhaps rest a bit more, go to bed a little earlier,
Mm-hmm.
meditate, create an environment, an atmosphere around you that feels protected, shielded, and peaceful and calm.
Yeah, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. And look, I know that you often, well, you kind of have daily spiritual practices and have for quite some time, and I think I've just been a little bit slack with it. Like I think a very long time ago I should have started making all this stuff a daily practice as well, but
Mm.
because I can be a little bit flighty and a bit scatterbrained, I can just forget, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and then it just goes out of my brain. But then when this starts happening, it goes, wait a minute, you're supposed to be doing stuff. So I have actually
Yes.
I've taken your advice, and yeah, I've been meditating, and I've been doing little rituals and things before bedtime, and it helps. Well,
Yeah.
it makes things not happen, and when I don't do them, that's when the weird stuff, kind of is more likely
Mm.
to happen. So
Mm.
it's just
It is. It's a big responsibility. It is a big responsibility. The more you develop spiritually, the more you have to have a spiritual practice
mm,
that allows you to really always stay connected to Great Spirit and allows you to always feel that your energy's high vibrational and that you're not kind of falling into a negative space, because once you fall into that negative space you can feel as though you're kind of beginning to drown in the negativity,
yeah,
and then unfortunately that begins to attract negative entities and lost souls and discarnate spirits to you,
mm.
and that's not pleasant at all.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. And you're
Mm.
right. Like it's like once you get stuck in that cycle of negativity or like tiredness or
Mm.
upset or depression, whatever it is, it's easy just kind of like for that to spiral out of control.
And yeah, and just to forget about your routine and just to kind of go, I'm just too tired and I'm
Mm,
too in a bad space and I can't be bothered. So
mm,
it can impact to different degrees with different people.
yeah.
I hear it a lot with people, when they're quite troubled or going through some emotional turbulence where they are feeling like they're having more nightmares than usual, not sleeping well, having bad dreams, feeling things around them.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, well, it's proof that you've got to do that. You know, you really have to. You got to take responsibility. That's the thing. And you've always told me this as well. It's like you've got to take your power back. You've got to actually go. You know what? I'm going to take responsibility for myself in this situation and take the power back. And it can be difficult, but you
mm,
can do it. Like it's such a key component, isn't it?
mm,
You've just got to
mm.
kind of go like, you know what? I'm not having this shit anymore. So,
It can be quite difficult when you're going through a lot, which is why I thought tonight that we would talk about the archangel Saint Raphael.
okay.
Saint Raphael appeared in the Book of Enoch
Hmm.
and the Dead Sea Scrolls. So Saint Raphael is the angel that you call upon for healing.
Okay.
And God assigned Saint Raphael to help humanity with healing and also to help the animals, to heal the animals. So Saint Raphael loved the humans, but also loved the animals. So um, you can invoke the help of Saint Raphael for all kinds of healing. And healing doesn't mean it's an illness or a sickness. It can be you're going through some emotional upheaval. Perhaps you're finding it really difficult to let go of a negative circumstance in your life.
Hmm.
Whatever it could be that you feel that you're lacking, perhaps the strength to heal or work through, invoke the help of Saint Raphael. He's a beautiful angel and he appears, his aura is very green. It's quite emerald green. And when you connect with Archangel Saint Raphael, you'll feel, perhaps you'll feel the presence of first of the love, the compassion and the love that Saint Raphael has,
Hmm.
but also you'll feel the heart activation, the heart, your heart chakra being activated as the presence of Saint Raphael moves in closer to you. And you perhaps, if you've got your eyes closed, you perhaps will feel, sense, or even see through your third eye the beautiful green rays that Saint Raphael brings to trigger that healing, firstly in the heart chakra, and then as the love and the heart chakra is activated, you're able to then send it to a particular, whether it's an issue, so you can feel yourself, perhaps you're having, say, a personal issue in a relationship that needs healing. So first of all, meditate, set that intention that you're calling and you'd like to invoke the help of Saint Raphael, and really feel this. He's a huge, mighty, powerful angel. He sometimes works in closely with the angel Michael. So you'll feel this real strength of Raphael coming through. And as you breathe and relax and allow that presence to move in close around you, you may start to feel the green hue around your energy field. You might feel this green hue around your heart chakra, and you'll begin to perhaps feel your own heart chakra opening up, becoming more activated, and releasing grief or the worry or the pain or the deep sorrow that perhaps you've had in your heart for a long time over a particular situation. So allow yourself to cry. I've often, felt like teary when Saint Raphael's come through, if there's been something I've needed to let go of. And so allow yourself to cry, allow that release to happen, and then get back into the zone, reconnect with Saint Raphael. And perhaps if it's, say it's a relationship, you can feel that green around you, feel the green between you and Saint Raphael, and place yourself and visually place yourself and the person perhaps that you're having the issue with inside of that green, beautiful energy for healing. If it's perhaps a disease or something going on in your body, obviously the same process, but just intensify that green in whatever it is in your body that you're needing the healing. So this is how Saint Raphael works. And you can just or simply ask Saint Raphael, thank you, Saint Raphael, for helping me to heal whatever it is, the issue that's going on within your body, within your mind, within your psyche, even within your consciousness. Sometimes you can feel like your consciousness is disconnected and you're not feeling your higher self. You can allow that beautiful Saint Raphael and that green hue to come in and heal you and perhaps just bring you back together again, more into feeling more whole and more strengthened by the presence. It's just a matter of letting go and allowing Saint Raphael to heal, or just surrendering or handing it over if you don't want to don't want to follow a particular ritual. You can just kind of hand it over, or in your prayers you can invoke Saint Raphael to help you, to show you a way, to bring a solution. So Saint Raphael is here to help humanity. And if it is a pet that is in need of healing, you can definitely invoke Saint Raphael to heal your pet. Saint Raphael loves the animal and the animal kingdom, and you'll often see pictures of Saint Raphael with animals. I've got one where he's next to a horse, but often he will be depicted with different animals. So you can invoke Saint Raphael to help you with healing an animal, your pet. And these are different ways that you can work with Saint Raphael and his beautiful green hue that he brings in, the green emerald green that he brings in. That is just a beautiful energy. You can imagine even yourself just drinking the green elixir and allowing it to flow through your body, that green divine love working through you. And so this is perhaps a really nice time of the year with all the franticness of Christmas and all the chaos. People feel, they've got deadlines at work and there's so much pressure to get things done before the end of the year. But it's a really nice time, an important time to sit and invoke Saint Raphael to help you, to help heal your family, your friends, humanity in general, to bring more healing, the green rays into the planet. So these are different ways that you can draw on Saint Raphael's divine healing energy to help you through a difficult period.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the emerald green. Now, remind me, is emerald green the color of the heart chakra?
So within the heart chakra, you've got the emerald green and I always see the emerald green, but I also see a beautiful, bright, like quite deep pink in the center. So yes, the emerald green is the color of the heart chakra, emerald green and pink. And as you're connecting with Saint Raphael, like you'll really feel that real deep emerald green, as though he's activating that emerald green within your heart chakra. And as your heart's being activated, you'll find that you'll have that release. You might release some tears and you might release the pain, or you might feel like you need to breathe it out. These are just different ways that, it will kind of merge and work with you and through you.
Okay. So it's as simple as, if people want to call upon Saint Raphael's energy, it's as simple as just doing it. Like you can...
Yeah, setting the intention, always set the intention. And I always like to say, envision a beautiful circle of golden protection around yourself, so that you're creating a beautiful sacred space around you. And then when you feel that you're within a sacred space, you can, in your own words from your heart, invoke the presence of Saint Raphael, and with any help that you're needing.
Okay. Okay. And look, it's I find it helps to give examples of these things actually um, happening in real life. And I'll share one of my experiences. I'm not sure if I've told you this before, Kat. I may have, but I remember a few years ago when I was having a bit of a rough time, and I went to bed, and I was like, I was just praying for some healing. I was like, I really needed some healing energy, really needed it, and was kind of, you know, kind of pleading for it, I guess. And I went to sleep, and not long after I went to sleep, I woke up, and I woke up because I could feel essentially energy shooting into my body through the soles of my feet. Like the energy was so strong that it woke me up.
Wow.
And I can't explain it. It was like, it's like the most beautiful electric shock you've ever felt, you know, like it's just like this beautiful, you feel lighter and pure, and but it's felt strong. Like the current was strong enough to wake me up. So I woke up and I could sense that there was like some kind of divine being standing at the end of the bed, and I could sense them there, kind of channeling it in through my feet. And I just woke
Wasn't
up,
that beautiful?
yeah, and I just woke up and I was just like, oh my God, like this, like, you know, like it was just, I was just stunned. And I just remember thinking, oh God, please don't let this stop now that I've woken up. Um, and I think I just made myself go back to sleep as quickly as possible because I wanted it to continue. And I did get the sense that it did continue after I went back to sleep. But
Yeah.
I just had this wonderful moment where the energy was so powerful, it woke me up, and I clocked what was going on, and it was just like, oh my God. Like it was like, it's a miracle. Like, I mean, how do you explain that? Like
Yeah,
it's
it
not
is. When you
imagination.
reach out, the language of love, and when you speak to through the heart, when you communicate to the spirit realms, to the angels through your heart or your spirit guides, that is the language that they will completely resonate with and will come to your aid and help you.
Mm,
And sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't know that anything really happened. It might sometimes, and you'll feel it a few days later.
mm,
But they do definitely come to aid us. Of course, you know, it's up to us to see, find our own strength and do things and complete things. But sometimes things can feel so hard that we need a little bit of divine intervention.
oh yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think the planet is definitely in need of some divine intervention at the moment.
Yes.
So these are just many ways that you can invoke. Perhaps there might be a particular angel that you feel compelled to draw. I know
Mm,
the angel Michael is very popular for protection, especially with paranormal activity and things like that.
mm,
Many call on the angel Michael. It's it's whichever of these angels you feel you have an affinity, but especially Raphael for healing. And I feel right now so many people are needing healing.
mm.
Definitely he's a beautiful angel, and very, very much all about the heart. And I think that everything that humanity is going through at the moment is to help them to activate their heart, to start to you know, move and make decisions and choices through the heart,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
open up the heart activation, and help with unifying with each other, unifying and helping to heal our world and helping to heal each other. And I feel it's time. I think that Raphael is always about very much treating each other with love and respect. Um, Raphael is all about not there shouldn't be poverty and children starving on the planet. We should all be coming together and doing more about things like this, rather than, sometimes I think we all tend to live in our own bubble and only see our own problems. And we forget that, there are people and children on this planet who are really suffering. And I think we all need to become more of a voice for them and put an end to this. Gosh, there's enough food and enough resources on this planet for everybody. No child should have to starve or die of malnutrition. We need to move past all this. I feel that Saint Raphael's all about nature, because the nature's green, and healing nature and healing the animals, healing the ocean, rather than exploiting. We're exploiting the resources, we're exploiting animals, we're exploiting the oceans, and we honestly just need to stop. Otherwise, we're going to have no earth, no planet left. So I feel more than ever that Saint Raphael is here to help invoke and open up the hearts of people to make the changes required to create a much more harmonious, happier and healthier planet for all beings,
Okay.
human and non-human.
Do you remember the first time that you encountered the energy of Saint Raphael? Like, do you remember the first time that the
Yeah, my gosh. It's hard because I've always sort of had an affinity with the angels. So I always feel like he's always been there for me. I've worked with the angel Michael, especially with my paranormal work and with all the kind of entities and the harder work that I've done for people. But I've also many times called on Raphael for healing or help or strength when I've needed also. And it's always that beautiful emerald green. And it's just so beautiful. It sparkles and shines for me. And yeah, I just feel at peace with that connection with Saint Raphael, so much more inner peace. It's like, don't worry, no matter what's going on, it's going to be okay.
Oh, that's
Mm.
beautiful. What a beautiful
Mm.
feeling.
Mm.
Yeah. You mentioned paranormal work. Have you been doing any house clearings lately where you've had to go in and clear places of spirits? I know that's something you do pretty regularly.
Yeah, yeah. I did do one last week where the energy, there was quite a bit of lost souls in the house. One of the family members was not well, quite elderly and not well, and kind of drawing in a lot of negative energies just by her sort of the way she's quite frail and sick and kind of whingy and and so sometimes I think that was just not keeping the energy in a very high vibration. So it was drawing in a lot of older spirits and lost souls. So I did send quite a few souls across the wall over to the other side. And that home, I've got an interesting one tomorrow with some shadow beings
Oh.
that I need to clear. Yeah, and I actually have been seeing, and I don't know what this is, but there's more of these shadowy type beings in houses at the moment.
Mm.
So it seems like, unfortunately, it seems as though there are sometimes more types of entities coming in.
Mhm.
And at the moment, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these shadowy, they're quite thin, shadowy type beings in people's homes. So I'm doing one tomorrow with some shadowy type beings that I'm clearing. So they're obviously, they're not human. And so they will need to be kind of de-energized almost and cleared, abolished type thing. You don't cross them over because they're not part of God.
Yeah. there's something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that there is a little bit, that's why I feel we have to step up spiritually, because there seems to be um yeah, a little bit more, we seem to be a little bit more plagued by entities at the moment more than ever.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, I've certainly experienced that lately, and like you said, you've got to kind of like learn how to deal with it and
Mm.
stepping up to deal with it, right?
Yes, yes. And I think that the more you practice and the spiritual aspect of you, you practice your meditations, your prayers, your chanting, and keeping yourself in, in the presence and connected to Creator God, the less affected and impacted you'll be by these entities.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
And going back to your earlier talk of, angels and archangels, like obviously you can call upon those energies
Yeah,
when you
they're
need.
there to help. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. Absolutely. And then God has also assigned people with their own angels, their own spirit guides that they can connect to help them. I mean, there's definitely benevolent forces. I know we've talked a lot about the negative forces, but there are also huge benevolent forces available to humanity to help. Of course, they're not here to clean up our mess, but they're here to help and guide and perhaps, download some of the wisdom that we can pass on to others and come together more. And, I do feel the planet is really in need. We need to help heal each other and heal the planet, definitely.
mm. Well, hopefully people can start calling on Saint Raphael for, a bit of
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think call, bring the green rays into your home, into your workplace, so that it's there to help bring harmony and love into wherever you take those beautiful green rays that Saint Raphael brings.
Mm. Well, if anyone's watching or listening and they have an experience where they tap into that energy and they have a positive experience, get in touch with us and let us know.
Oh yeah, I'd love to know.
Yeah, would love to hear about it.
Mm.
And I'd love to hear more about your battle with the shadow beings
The
tomorrow.
shadow beings,
Uh,
yeah, gosh, yeah,
Maybe
I
in a
know.
future episode we can
It's not going to be pleasant. These things are never pleasant to encounter, but you've got to kind of warrior up in warrior mode, spiritual warrior mode, and just do what needs to be done.
yeah. Well, in talking of warrior mode, I'm always in awe of your braveness. Because you put yourself in some of the scariest bloody situations.
I don't see them as scary. I look
Oh,
sometimes, but when I get there, and I think that I just have so much thank God, divine help that I put the scary sort of feelings away and just kind of get into warrior mode and off I go. It's
it's
just the natural instinct in me. I think it's probably in my DNA. I think God inserted it into my DNA. Just go out there and do it. It's I can't seem to escape it. It's like even trying to have a few days off, there's always somebody with some extreme phenomenal emergency, and it's like, no, you just can't. It just it blows my mind, really. It does. I think it's quite funny how yeah, there's just always something going on
yeah.
with people and with stuff, and that's why I'm saying I think we all have to come together and work a lot harder with invoking more of the benevolent forces rather than the dark forces.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, if anyone wants a bit of inspo on being fearless, I reckon they should look to you because, again, knowing the stuff that you do regularly and the stuff you have done for a number of years, like most people would absolutely crumble well, they would like they would like run a million miles in the other direction, and like I've always found that like so like fascinating about you. It's just like, oh yeah, I went and did this, I went and cleared this demons.
But I can be feel so blasé about it.
I love
Yeah, I
it.
know. I don't know. I just I think I think I am more fearful of what some human beings are capable of doing. I
Yeah.
think that those realms I kind of feel like I have some sort of control over, whereas there's some crazy people out there that I think,
Yes, indeed.
would be much harder to deal with.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm sure.
Mm.
A lot of people probably think we're the crazy people, Cap. But I've got.
Yeah, look, I say it often. I honestly feel like I'm a visitor here. I don't feel that I am a human spirit. I really don't, never have. I always feel like I've come here to help, and that's it. Then I'm out of here when this lifetime's done. I don't think I'll be back for a second round. I feel like I've done enough rounds here.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about the story of with Angel Michael? So I was just whinging and going through this complaining. I'm like, how come I'm always working? There's no someone needing me. I want to go on a holiday. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I was
Yeah.
just going through this phase of, I'm just tired. And so this one night, you're kind of half asleep, and the angel Michael comes to me, and he goes, "Have you forgotten who you are?" He goes, "You're not a human soul. You're not here. You're not here to live a human life where you go on holidays and you do this and you do that. This is what you've come here to do." And I'm like, "Oh, geez."
You know what? You should have said, "Hey, I'm doing it, but I still need a holiday. I still need a
I
break
wouldn't
sometimes."
mind, yeah, a few human luxuries that go down well. Hey, so yeah, so look, no, I've got to say, I have been looked after. I can't complain. Yes, I haven't probably had all the holidays I would have liked to have, and life has been very challenging. And yeah, can you imagine talking about disciplines? Whenever I've let my guard down, man, hell unleashes to come after me. So I have had, trust me, I have had some really tough times when I have been in, obviously having my own issues and problems, and Jesus, yeah, I won't go into it, but yeah, hell's been there ready to unleash on me, that's for sure. They've had a field day if I have. So I've had to really be so disciplined and guarded in where I am in my headspace, definitely, in my emotional space. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm.
All right. Well, look, this has been a great little chat. I've learnt
Mm-hmm.
something about, you know,
Yeah, the angels, invoking the angels. Yeah, just I say to people, work with one at a time,
mm,
get to know them, get to work with them,
mm.
get a feel.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. Well, I'll give that a crack, and people who are listening and watching, give it a crack as well, and let us know how they go.
Yeah, please do.
And we will be back again next week for another episode. And we're coming up to the end of the year, so our end of year episode is fast approaching. It may even be next week. We'll see how we go.
Mm.
But until then, Caterina, have a wonderful weekend and rest of the week, and
Thank you.
we'll chat again real soon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, James. And thank you, everybody. And God bless. Have a wonderful week.
You bet. See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye.
To gain access to private spiritual development classes, guided meditations, and live Q&As with Caterina, please visit www.patreon, that's patreon.com/The Australian Ghost Whisperer.